especially those that you don't know, RUKKA, you I think know more and more by now after having heard her yesterday. So the first one, MATIUS AWOITAW. He is an indigenous person from Papua, itself a professor in the University of Papua for a while. He was also a founder of an NGO that was very active in planning and development of districts at the time that he was in the university, and he became really popular with that. He was elected as the district head of JAYAPURA, which is the biggest central district of Papua at the time, and now it's a province on its own. But at that time, it was the largest, essentially, town of the entire Papua province. Papua and West Papua combined under his jurisdiction at that time would be over 7 million hectares of forest. But now he has his second term. He's elected, and he has another 5 years to do this work with us, and he has advanced a lot in his recognition of community systems and rights, and has taken advantage of that regulation and the special autonomy law to move forward. So he will tell us a little bit about his vision. And RUKKA SOMBOLINGGI is the Secretary General, as you know, of the Alliance, and she will give us a perspective of how the strength of the subnational governments have strengthened the national advocacy and support for indigenous people's land rights. And BENJA, MAMBAI, has been with us for the last, I don't know, remember, 30 years, operating in Papua and mapping and doing all of the required analytical and social processes for establishing the communities living within and around forests. And he will give us the first background of that. And Ivo Sitiono will give us the perspective of the national plans vis-a-vis the district plans. So I proceed now with BENJA. We have, how many minutes for you? I give you 3 to 5 minutes to provide the background. Yes. And you have the, yeah. Yes.
Thanks, Donette. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was prepared my presentation because my English is not good, but I try to share.
Because your English is good.
No. I try to share my experience working more than 25 years with the local community in Papua. Papua, for me, Papua is the one of paradise in the world, the last paradise in the world. So why I love working with the nature in Papua. We have what you call it tools. I'm working together with NONET to develop tools. We call it community participatory mapping. We help the local community to identify where is the important place based on the community knowledge. After more than 12 years, we bring the result of community mapping and then talk with the government. And also, several district government in Papua, there was adopt result of community mapping on our spatial plan in district level. And also right now, our government in province level, there was adopt result of community mapping as one of basic information to develop spatial planning in Papua province. The second thing is we help the Ministry of Environmental and Forestry to design protected area in Papua, because based on our experience, if you talk about how to manage the conservation area, sorry to say, our government in central government, they don't think how to give opportunity for the local community to involve the process to manage the conservation area. The second thing, and third is how to bring the local community on business sector. So with community mapping, we teach the local community to what you call it, to identify economic potential in the area. And then right now, we work together with Jayapura district government to establish a small project in Jayapura district. If today you come to Jayapura, you go by car 1.5 hours in Rempang Life, you work 1.5 minutes hour to jungle. I guarantee all of you to find at least minimum 5 birds of paradise. I guarantee you, if you today you come together with me to Jayapura district, minimum you can find at least 5 species bird of paradise. We will make research around 90,000 hectares because Mr. Bupati was established this area as what you call it? Customary forest. You can farm minimum 5 birds of paradise. For me, this is example for community in Papua. They manage the land, they manage the forest, they involve the government to protect bird of paradise, and also directly show to the government, to the other community in Papua how to manage the business. Thank you very much.
So the implementation level now is, you see, what we have today, what we need to do is for these communities who have been left alone for a long time, waiting for their rights to be realized or at least recognized, is now to set up the task force where the NGO, the local community and the local government work together. So has been set up, and they will focus on making sure that there is mapping. Mapping is continued, and this mapping integrates into the land use plan for development, and this will be the basis for the permanent support for government on community self-development. So the government really will be supporting and regulating, but this task force will do the hard work and will be very operational at all levels.
Ada sekitar 30 pemerintahan di bawah setingkat kampung. Sekarang dikelola sistemnya oleh secara adat. Jadi bukan lagi pemerintahan yang berlaku secara umum di Indonesia, tetapi dengan kebijakan ini ada sejumlah kampung dikelola secara adat untuk pembangunannya. Jadi sesuai dengan keaslian sistem yang dimiliki oleh masyarakat adat itu.
Yes, so Little Hip, I'm sorry, I was speaking. So right now, at this very moment, there are 30 active ADA-led, customary-led governance units in his area. So this is not the conventional kind of management, it's the indigenous peoples-led governance units that will be the one that will lead in people-based development for Jayapura.
Terima kasih.
Thank you. I would like to ask RUKKA now to speak. Yes, this is to project into the future when we will be meeting in this place and looking at the birds of paradise, and everyone will be welcome because I'm sure Paul will come. But this will be in the long, you can.
Yeah, when I visited Pak Bupati in Jayapura and we went to eat sagu in the lake, and I was like, oh, this is paradise, this is heaven, because I love sagu so much. So we, two of us eating with many other friends, we're eating sagu, and I also want to emphasize that actually the Jayapura Regency also has the local regulations, the protections of the local food, which is the main food, which is sagu. And that is very good because throughout Indonesia, the government, central government especially, has been very, very aggressive in promoting the food of the staple food is rice. Well, actually, in the eastern part of Indonesia, we don't eat rice. We eat sagu and cassavas and all.
What is sagu? Can you explain?
Sagu. What is sagu? It's like palm. You get starch from the palms. There was one in the Pak Bupati's presentations every year. Well, that's why we have to make sure we'll have to go to Jayapura and eat sagu over the lake while overseeing the Sentani Lake. It's really beautiful feeling. Delicious, very delicious. But what I want to emphasize here is we look back at what we have agreed yesterday, the day before yesterday, in fact, actually, about the principle of collaborations. What we see and why AMAN, we are very optimistic and we are very positive that things are doable because we've seen actually things are going on. The things in the progress in Jayapura and in Papua and West Papua, in fact, it's not just rhetoric. We see progress, and that's why we are very hopeful that the collaboration, direct collaboration between local governments, subnational governments, with indigenous peoples will make a difference, will work. That's the only way we can work and we can save the nature, we can save the forest, we can save the earth, we fix the climate problem. But also in many ways, and I want to go to my second messages, is that how much money have funders, donors, philanthropist organizations spent in the name of forest and climate change so far? But where has that money gone? What we are visioning, we envisage that in the future, what we need to see is we need to get that money goes directly to support this kind of cooperation on the ground. And the second one is we need to keep the spirit alive. We need to make sure that other government or other local government in many different parts of the world will do the same thing. We've heard something, a lot of things in Acre. I also visited Nicaragua and I saw how really indigenous peoples exercise what we call right to self-determination. Right to self-determination is not just being independent or everything politically, but to really determine our development. And that is what's going on in Jayapura and many places across the globe. And we need to send a message across the globe that this kind of progress we need to bring together so we continue to work together and we continue to strengthen each other together in the future. And for AMAN in Indonesia, we also have our interest because so far we've been always on the, how you call it, sad, gloomy emotions. Negative, because we see bad things everywhere. And for AMAN, we want to showcase that this is works. And that's actually what will happen. And we hope that we'll see more beautiful things going on, especially in Jayapura. And 2022, I already give you advance invitation to go to Jayapura, because we are going, the next indigenous peoples from all over archipelago will come, and we will have a big congress, and I can imagine already. We are going to eat good food, we are going to sail, we are going to see paradise birds, we are going to see forests. Tree huggers, you will have chance to hug big trees in the forest, and you know, all these things. So that's my message, Nonet, and I think it is very clear when we go home, and later, especially because the pledge yesterday for more than 400 million US dollar, we need to see how much those money will go to Jayapura. I know. I will say there is commitment if I see that money in Jayapura. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I emphasize the next AMAN Congress has already been decided to be in Jayapura. So that description of the birds, the parrots, and everything is going to be seen in person by everyone who's going to come to the next AMAN Congress. So before we end, this is now the ending. We are like trying to look at the analysis from the national perspective with all these major infrastructure priorities and planning that is driven from the top. How does it match? What is the preparedness of the district and the province? They have studied at least one district to see that there is a challenge, but there is an opportunity. So I ask now Ivo, our economist, to tell us what is the prognosis.
Not really economics actually.
Part of the analytical unit.
All right. Thank you. Maybe before we discuss about the specific case about the Papua, we have to tell a little bit about how the relationship between the local special plan with the national special plan. Actually, it should be matched between the local and national special plan, because there should be a discussion between the local government with the Ministry of Home Affairs when they are develop the local development plan. Then regarding to the spatial plan, this is very challenging for the local government, because many issues. The special plan is the coordination among ministries. When and normally the most challenging is to get approval from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, especially Papua. Papua is very sexist province because to my knowledge there are only two least eco-essential in Indonesia, that are only Aceh and Papua. I don't know why there are only two provinces. Maybe because Aceh is conflict and Papua also the high number of conflict kawasan esensial tersisa. Cuman di Indonesia only there are only two that
Special regions.
yes, essential area, essential for forestry. Because in Kalimantan we know that the forest is already occupied by the all gone. Java, okay, we don't have to talk about it anymore. It's all gone. It's become industrial. Funny. Yeah, and that's the condition, and it is become the challenge for the local government to make a kind of to issue special planning, special plan, right? And yeah, essential. And the other issue that maybe I want to talk is normally the central government and maybe donor always bring their indicator by themselves. We know the SDGs, we know there are so many indicators, environment indicator and something like that. And for local government, I think it has become, is it another homework for them? They already get busy with daily activity to project to serve their community, to serve their people, but they have to do another so many administrative things that make them very busy to complete their administrative thing, their paperwork, but sometimes I don't know, they become they don't have enough time to serve the public, to serve to the public. And regarding to the social forestry, the central government first in 2016 allocated 12.7 million area for social forestry. But last year, I think they revised it. It's become 5 million hectare for 5 years. Yeah. But it is social forestry. Hutan adat is one of the social forestry, and this is not about the number, but I think it is also about how the commitment of the central government, because the budget that they allocate for the mapping, for instance, is very limited, while the mapping of the area is become the central issues when we talk about the social forestry. For instance, when we talk in the Tambrau that we studied with the supported with the SAMDHANA Institute, the delineation issues, I mean the border, the mapping issues is become the issues why the central government has not give permit for the social forestry. Yeah. And the other thing is regarding to the and the other thing is so many land in the area is in the local area is already occupied by the private sector. It is become the other issues that make social forestry become difficult to be implemented at the local level. And I think as long as the government is focusing on economic growth instead of circular economic that give more benefit for the local, it is very difficult for the local government to give better services for their people. I think this.
Okay, thank you. We have 5 minutes left, and I would like, this is now how short it is, but I think we had a very productive exchange. If I summarize, the national government sometimes is not able to respond to the initiatives that are their gem, meaning their treasure. So I would like to ask one last word for everyone. We have 5 minutes. Kata akhir, ya, kata akhir. Or if there are questions from people in the audience about how to get to Papua for the AMAN Congress, that would be good. Yeah, you can watch the Birds of Paradise in what, 1 kilometer? 1 kilometer? Birds of Paradise, 2 kilometers?
10 minutes from
10 minutes from the highway, Chris. 10 minutes from the highway, you can go and see Birds of Paradise.
I'm all in. I'm guarantee all of you. 10
So,
minutes from highway, you can farm minimum 5 spaces.
5 spaces. Well, in 2022, the AMAN Congress is going to be in this place, and the head of the government is with us. So we will measure the accomplishments from what we saw. Yeah? I think we will even get those resources. I am very sure when RUKKA says we will get it, we will get it. Right? Okay, so any more last words? That would be really encouraging for the group. This group is a working group, actually. I'm very happy we're able to take them over here. But this kind of convergence has become very effective, and will receive support. I think even despite or without or maybe with the 500 million, I think BAPA's budget is actually very well allocated he has essentially power over some of his own district budgets, matched with AMAN and others that are supporting. It will be a good capital to start with, in fact, to continue with. I think with that, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.